Thank you all for coming this evening and for your support of the 2020 Greenville St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival. Thank you. On behalf of the Executive Committee, all of our sponsors and friends who've worked on the parade and festival and helped it grow over the last 8 years, I want to welcome you to our induction ceremony for 2020 and thank the Grand Marshal and our parade honorees. Thank you all for coming. So, as a background, in 2012, our event started very humbly with a simple walk from St. Mary's Church over to City Hall, where we received a proclamation. Since those early days, our event has grown tremendously thanks to the enthusiasm of our community and the hard work of our volunteers and executive board. We have a number of partners and friends in the room, if you'll allow me, including our friends from the Republic of Ireland, Consul General Shane Stevens. We'd also like to thank our sponsors, including Chris Brown from Family Legacy, KW Beverage, and Dirk Bengal from the Hyatt. We'd also like to thank Suzanne Coe from Connolly's Irish Pub, Marsh & Company, and Valerie Miller and Partners, True Color Professional Party Rentals, Synovus Bank, and the Trail Corporation. As we're all aware, the current environment around coronavirus and public health concerns made this situation tough to move forward with our parade this weekend. While we're disappointed that we were faced with that choice, we were very excited about the future of the parade and the relationships we've built over the last several years. I'm excited to introduce our co-hosts for the evening, Taggart Hogue and Renee Wunderlich from WYFF. Tag and Renee are reporters at YFF News 4 and cover breaking news in studio and in the field throughout the week. WYFF has been a great partner to our committee, and I'm happy to hand it over to Tag and Renee. Thanks so much.
Alrighty. Thanks, Kevin, for helping us get started. Well, welcome, everyone. It's good to be here. And it's been a day, but we're all here. We're wearing our green, so let's move forward, shall we? So, as many of you know, the mission of Greenville St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee is to conduct the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival. And while the future, as Kevin mentioned, is a bit open-ended at this time, it's one of the fastest growing celebrations of Irish culture in the county. Now, tourism continues to be a driver of economic growth here in the upstate. Always a good thing, right? And major events like Fall for Greenville and Euphoria serve a platform to showcase all things that are really going well here in our community. So that's something to celebrate. That works too. So it only makes sense that Greenville would become the hub of activity around St. Patrick's Day, and it's the hope of the Executive Committee of Greenville St. Patrick's Day Parade and Festival that this continues to grow in the upcoming years, no matter what the future may hold. Now, the growth in interest and excitement does not happen without working with good partners, and I am happy to introduce our first speaker of the night here. It is Consulate General of Ireland, works to promote Irish interests here in the U.S. by working with the Irish community to promote economic interests and building on the strong partnership between our two countries. So it is my pleasure to introduce Consul General Shane Stevens. Sir, welcome.
Thank you very much, Renee. Thank you very much. And again, congratulations on everyone for looking so beautiful in green this evening. It's a great privilege for me to be here as Consul General to celebrate this further flourishing of the Ireland-South Carolina relationship. The Governor has already pushed forward that relationship today by helping us to open up a new expanded Irish company office here. And so I think you've made a really good choice by selecting the Governor as your Grand Marshal here in Greenville. Well done, you all. And I just want to really say that this ceremony wonderfully encapsulates the centrality of the Irish story in the rich tapestry that is South Carolina's history. And the Irish and the Scots-Irish immigrants, of course, have played a huge role in the development of this state, going back to the 1700s. And in fact, even more recently, Ireland and South Carolina have had special bonds that are perhaps less known. Almost exactly 100 years ago, the first ever elected leader of the Irish people, a man called Eamon de Valera, traveled out to South Carolina. This was in April 1920. This is the first time Ireland had ever elected its own leader, democratically. And he visited both Charleston and Columbia in that time, almost exactly 100 years ago, and he received great financial and political support for his struggle for Irish independence. So we remember in Ireland how kind you were to us in those days when we were weak and just getting on our feet, and we always will remember that and always will appreciate it. We're in fact holding events this year in Charleston to recognize the contribution that the people of South Carolina made to our independence all those years ago. And again, the people of South Carolina and the people of the United States have so often been the friend indeed in times of need. In fact, Ireland's peace process is probably the most important thing to us. The peace process that we were just talking about, Father, which has brought peace to Northern Ireland over the last 22 years. That peace process was facilitated by the United States, made possible by the United States, by presidents from President Carter to President Reagan and on from there. And indeed, the whole peace process itself, conceptually, came out of the writings of Martin Luther King. The man who designed our peace process was called John Hume. When he won the Nobel Peace Prize, the last words in his speech were, "We shall overcome." So this region and the United States have played such an essential role in the journey to peace for Ireland. And again, that legacy continues to this day. And I'll say a bit more about that in a second. But the biggest contemporary thing we're most conscious of is the economic relationship today. The United States, now American companies employ 155,000 people in great jobs in Ireland. But we're catching up. Today, Irish companies employ 100,000 people right here in the United States. And that tendency is growing all the time. Just yesterday, in Georgia, an Irish company announced a $125 million investment in rural Georgia, in Rome. And today, as we've already mentioned, the governor helped open up an Irish company called, expanding their offices, called a company called Tire Check, right here in Greenville. And right across this state today, Irish companies now employ over 2,000 people. It's really something very significant. We're now not sending you our hungry and starving people. We're sending you our companies, and we're getting involved in technology transfer, which is now going in both directions, from Ireland to the United States, as well as in the other direction. And again, we've been particularly delighted just in the last few days, another important political announcement. As I said, the United States has always played a vital role in supporting and contributing to economic collaboration. They've played a huge role in our peace process, and that second trend is also healthy. Because just a few days ago, President Trump announced that he was going to appoint a man from South Carolina, Mick Mulvaney, as his special envoy for the Northern Ireland peace process. So now, with both Mick Mulvaney and Governor McMaster wearing green and supporting the Irish cause in our best interest, I feel we cannot fail for the future. We're absolutely on track. So I just want to thank you all in the Greenville St. Patrick's Day Committee for all that you've done to put together this wonderful event. I know you had planned a wonderful parade for tomorrow, which unfortunately has been postponed for perhaps a year or so, like so many of the great parades around the country. But we thank you so much for the way in which you're celebrating your Irish heritage and the Irish heritage of this region. We appreciate it deeply. And again, I just want to congratulate you on choosing the best possible Grand Marshal for your parade and for Greenville. And to you, Governor, I just want to wish you a very happy St. Patrick's Day, and I wish you all the very best for the future ahead. Or as we say in our own Irish language, Gunari and Boher live, and Ballingteen Fela Porrig Arif. Thank you so much, Governor.
All right, well, thank you for that, Consul General Stevens. We would now like to recognize our honorees for the 2020 Greenville St. Patrick's Parade. The Executive Committee designates a number of honorees each year, and our first honoree for 2020 is Business Professional of the Year, and that is Craig Brown. Craig is the owner of... Here we go. Congratulations. Now, Craig, we'll keep him here for just a little bit. Now, Craig is the owner and team president of the Greenville Drive, and in 2017, the Greenville Drive was awarded the John H. Johnson's President's Award. That is the most prestigious honor minor league baseball can bestow on an organization. Yes. Now, the Greenville Drive is celebrated across minor league baseball as more than an organization selling tickets and hot dogs. They're very good hot dogs, by the way. But as a community engagement platform. Yes, and so thank you, Craig, for all you do for this community. Thank you. We also have the 2020 Irish Woman of the Year, and that is Greenville City Council member Amy Doyle. Okay. We'll get that to her later. And at this point, I'm going to hand it back to Renee.
Alrighty, let's keep the party going here. So we are going to move on with the 2020 Irishman of the Year. And drum roll, please, for Father Patrick Tuttle. Father Tuttle has been the pastor of St. Anthony Padua of West Greenville for 14 years, ladies and gentlemen, 14 years, and serves as chaplain to both Furman University and to the City of Greenville Police Department. Now, Father Pat is known for his work serving the spiritual and educational needs of St. Anthony's. In fact, we were speaking just a few moments before about that, and really helping the distressed neighborhoods and the surrounding communities, including working to build new facilities for students at St. Anthony's School and to refurbish distressed homes in the area. Please join me in congratulating the 2020 Irishman of the Year, Father Pat
And the Grand Marshal, setting the pace for our state and for our organization for 2020, is Governor Honoree McMaster.
Thank you. I'll be brief. I appreciate you inviting me, and I appreciate this honor. And I guess we'll have to parade around the room a little while. The Consul General Stevens reminded me, you're speaking of 1920. It's a true story. There's the Hibernian Society is in Charleston. You may have heard they have the building and have big events there. You can all sorts of dances and things. It's a very nice thing. And it started way back in the 1800s to help support the Irish who were coming over, as you mentioned, with nothing but their talents when they arrived. But it has a very storied history, and I have been a number of times, and they gave me a book that described all of the menus, the speeches, and everything up until, I guess, about 10 years ago when the book was published. But the most interesting one was sometime around 1920 or so that you mentioned, maybe a little bit later, but they had a special guest in Charleston at the Hibernian Society annual dinner. It was the Vice President of the United States who came to visit. And you've seen the building, there's several stories. You enter on the ground floor and then you go up. Well, he had one strike against him because his name was Sherman. This was 1920 in Charleston. Then he had another strike against him when they found out that he was a Republican. When they realized he was from New York, they literally threw him out the window of the Hibernian Society. So that Irish spirit is there in full force in Charleston and in Greenville as well. And this is the kind of thing that South Carolina is known for. I need to tell you just
Nice research, Jim.
one point is these business leaders that come from around the world looking for places to invest billions of dollars in very important decisions. I met with some just, 2 days ago in a little room upstairs there. Can't say the name of the company, but it's a multi-billion-dollar international company. And they're thinking about South Carolina just like us. And you know why they want to come here? We have great research universities that collaborate with the best technical college system in the whole world. There's Keith Miller, that's one of them right there. He's one of the reasons why. And he invented the 4-year advanced baccalaureate degree in advanced manufacturing, which is just super. The Great Port, which is it will be, once we get the dredging done, it'll be the best, most efficient port on the East Coast, going 52 feet at low tide. The great weather, all of those things, great institutions. But the reason they come to South Carolina is the reason is evident here in full force. They say it's because of 3 things: the people, the people, the people. They say when the people of South Carolina give you their word, they keep it. And I thought everybody did that, but obviously it's not so. And I'm sure that's one reason that the Irish are coming over. And we look forward. We have so much in common. It's a small world, and it is a wonderful thing to see people from different places think alike, that get along, that look forward to relationships and look forward to the kind of prosperity that we are having in South Carolina, we'll continue to have. So let's keep celebrating. Maybe the parade's over, but the fun's not, and they'll be next year and the year after, and I look forward to being back with you.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, there we go. When in doubt,
Get right in there. Okay.